Last time on World of Warships 0 to Hero, we took the Hashidate and we did the training battle. We also looked around the port and we looked at some of the account settings that you might like to change, so hopefully you've done that. Today we're going to be finishing off the last part of account level 1 and we're going to be doing the co-op battle, which is where you fight against AI controlled opponents in a game mode which is representative of random battles, which is where you fight against humans. We don't have access to that yet. At the moment all we have access to is the tutorial and co-op battles. We'll unlock the other things later on. So you can see down here I've got all my ships. We took the Hashidate into the training battle, so I think we're going to choose a different ship, and because I'm British I'm going to go for the Black Swan. All these ships actually have very similar characteristics really, especially when you compare the differences to later in the game where ships are radically different from each other. These are all pretty much the same. They all have all the same ammo types, they all have roughly the same armor. They do have slightly different hit points. The Bougainville has the highest hit point pool, Black Swan is second, and the others are all about the same. But largely they're all the same, so just choose whichever one you fancy the look of and go with that one, and that will be fine. Also worth bearing in mind here is protected matchmaking, which applies if you are playing ships that are tier 4 or lower and your account level is 10 or lower. If those two things are true, then you will be protected from playing against the experienced players in the game. You'll be playing against other beginners, and so you won't be massively outmatched by someone who knows more than you do. But we're not going up against players now, we're going up against the AI. So let's get going. In the queue for this, if there are not enough humans to fill the team, then the team gets filled with AI. So let's have a look in the team members tab here. Nope, we're all humans here. So these are AI. The ones with the colons are AI, and the ones without the colons are humans, because humans aren't allowed to have colons in their names. You can look through these tabs here. This tells you what the mission is and what the map is and where the caps are. This is the team members list. This is a very good tab for beginners. It gives you some tips about the game that you can read while the game is loading, and because it takes a minute or so for the game to actually load in and make sure that all the players are ready. And then you can also create divisions, which I'll explain another time. You can either wait for the clock to run down, or if you want to get in there a bit early, you can press start battle and you end up just behind your ship here. Mouse wheel to zoom out. You want to be pretty much all the time, you want to be zoomed out as far as you can, so that you can see what's going on. I do see some people drive their ship like this, which is more realistic and you can hear the guns, but you're going to have a hard time seeing what's going on. You want to be using max zoom out and you want to be using shift to zoom in and out. Now, so these are all humans here. We're a little bit cut off over at this side. The AI will be spawning over this side of the map because the maps are always half and half. So the AI spawn is over here, human spawn here. And if this was randoms against other players, the other team would be over here. This is the home cap, so this is our home base. This is their home base, so they have to try and cap this. We have to try and cap that, like a lot of games, same format. And then the other way you can win is to kill everything. So there's some points up here. You get points for killing enemy team members. They get points for killing your team members, and you also get points for controlling cap zones. The cap zone points in a standard battle, which is what this is, where you have to control the enemy's base, is not quite so important, because if you control the enemy's base then you win. If you get into the cap zone, there's a certain amount of time that has to elapse before the cap will actually flip. So I think in standard battles, I think it's 3 minutes for one player, 1 minute 30 for 2 players. There's no benefit to having more than 2 players in a cap zone. 2 is enough. Right, so we finally got an enemy which is in range, so we're going to open fire here. So I'm not shooting at the ship, I'm leading. Probably about there. Double click to fire all the guns. Yep, that was a pretty good shot. He's coming towards me though, so I need to adjust for that. If you look on the minimap, we're at 90 degrees to each other. So here's this ship here. You'll notice he has a circle around him, which means he's the one I'm aiming at. Just got to be careful not to shoot my teammate there. There's an Eerie coming around the corner here. So you notice there's a circle around him. If I press X, it unlocks him, and I can go and hover over the Black Swan and press X, and that will target on him, and I can switch manually like that. The game will also automatically change if you point at a new ship for long enough. But using X is a good way to guarantee. And what happens is if I unselect him, you'll notice I lose my tracking suddenly. If I X, it locks onto him. So I'll always be shooting in the same place if I don't use my move my mouse. So you want to use X manually as much as you can, really. Don't rely on the game too much. Sometimes it does make mistakes. There we go, we got a kill. So this ribbon shows that I've killed something. That was a nice hit there. So I'm aiming at the waterline because he's coming roughly towards me, so I want to be a little bit lower than the waterline. There we go, that was a good hit as well. Need to keep an eye on the minimap because there's other enemy ships in the game that I need to be aware of. Oh, we slowed down, so I've missed. So I need to adjust my aim backwards a little bit. Maybe there. Oops, someone got there first. Okay. There's a ship here. So on the minimap, although I can't see him in the view, I can see on the minimap that there's a ship down here. So if I look right... Oh, there he is. So you need to have your eye on the minimap at least half the time. Certainly after you finish shooting, each time while you're waiting for your guns to reload. Just glance down at the minimap. So there's now a ship behind me on the minimap, so if I turn my camera around, I can look and lead where I'm going with my ship. This doesn't make any difference to the way the ship is moving. The camera and the ship are completely independent. There we go. So you can see up here I've got 12 shell hits, 2 kills. That's my damage. And that's my damage upon spotting, which means damage that other people have done while I've been spotting a ship. Okay, results screen. Victory. It shows you which ship you were in. It shows you your credits income. This is your total credits income. This isn't actually the amount that you take home, because you have expenses for resupplying your ship and repairing your ship and things like that, which deduct from that, and it is possible to lose credits on a match, but you won't come across that until you get a bit further into the game. This is the amount of experience. This is the grey star, means that this is experience for the ship itself, so that, as I said last time, I think, there's normal experience and then there's free experience, which would appear here and has a greeny yellow star. So this is experience against the ship. This is the amount of damage we did. This is the number of shell hits we got with our main battery. There are lots and lots of different ribbons, and you'll see those as we go through the game. This means I broke something on someone else's ship, like a gun or a torpedo tube or something. And this means I've got kills. If we look at the team score here, oh wow, we did really badly. So it's probably because I was talking and not concentrating, we've come bottom. But that doesn't matter. The point of this is not to come top. The point of this at the moment is just to learn the game. And to be honest, at Tier 1, it's very chaotic, and Tier 1, probably 2 and 3 are not representative of what the game is like at Tiers 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. The ships go everywhere, you're all the same, you don't really have any armour, and so it's basically just a massive chaotic frenzy of shooting, which is not what the game is like later on. So when you're playing these first few levels and when you're Tier 1, just don't worry about it, just play the game. If you come bottom, it's not necessarily that you were rubbish, it's just one of those things. Later on, you do want to worry about where you come on the table a little bit more. So moving on. I should explain, this is the player name, this is the silhouette of the ship that you were playing, the name of the ship you were playing, and the tier here. It uses Roman numerals for the tier, so you'd see II if it was Tier 2. This is the number of kills. You can sort by number of kills if you want to. The default sorting is experience. And this is the enemy team, same thing. On the detailed report screen, this is an interesting thing to look through. It shows you what damage you did to each ship. Once you learn the game a little bit, this is a good screen to look at for analysis. If you're not sure what happened, or you want to see how effective you've been, this will give you all sorts of information. I won't go through it now, but you can have a look yourself. You can mouse over things for some more information as well. You might want to pay attention to the economics tab at the end here, the credits and XP tab, because if you untwirl these, it will show you your economics. So I don't have premium on this account, so this is what I'm getting here. If you do have premium, it shows you what you would get. This is what you would have won. And you can see that actually having premium will help you to progress through the game much more quickly. So you get an extra 50% on pretty much everything with premium. So this is the amount of credits. This is the expenditure. So you remember I said you have to pay for repairs and things. At tier 1 you don't have to pay for repairs or ammunition. So everything you make you take home. Later on you'll get some deductions here which lowers this. So remember that on the initial screen this is not your take home credits. This is your takings. You have to look on this screen to find out how much you actually take home. This shows you how much XP you've received, your daily win bonus of 50%, which is when you play the ship for the first time, you get 50% bonus. And then it shows us whether we made a new account level or not. That's only relevant to beginners. And then any commander XP and free XP that we made. We don't have free XP yet, but that will show down here as well later on. So it's worth keeping an eye on this screen just to show how well you did. You can also see any signals and camouflages and stuff that will come up in here later on as well. Show you what they've done. Playing that co-op battle has given us enough XP to unlock account level 2, so join me next time as we go through tech trees and modules. Please do like and subscribe for more, and join the StatsFolk Discord, link in the description. Take care of each other, and I'll speak to you soon.